Hey there, my name is Kathleen Coble from Masters of Marketplace, where we help small businesses succeed on the Amazon Marketplace. So today I have a quick video for you. We are going to be talking about what is the buy box and how do you win control over the buy box on Amazon. So the buy box is this box over here on the right side of every listing that basically gives that particular seller control over getting the sale. So this means that if there is one seller selling on the buy box, ideally that seller will always have the buy box. Now, the trouble comes in where we have more than one seller selling on one product listing, and that's when Amazon has to rotate the buy box around between different sellers. So how does that work? So as you can see here, the price for this item is $23.40. If I go down here, I can see right away, ships and sold from Amazon, sold by Amazon. It's going to be really tough to compete with Amazon for the buy box. I don't recommend you doing it. This means that this particular product is sold directly to Amazon, and Amazon is very much controlling the price and who gets the buy box on this listing. And guess what? It's them. So that probably means that they have the best price, they have inventory available, but once they run out, you or someone else who's selling this product could potentially take over control of that buy box. So if we scroll down a little bit over here, now here's where you can find the other sellers who are selling it as well that do not have the buy box. So as you can see right over here, we have 5 different options available from all these different sellers here. Now, if I click on this box, it will give us more information about the sellers that are selling this product. As you can see, we have ships and sold from Amazon with sold by this other seller right here, Zeption. Now they both have the same price. So that brings me to part 2 of how do you win or control that buy box? Well, the first thing to note is that number 1, if you're competing with Amazon directly, where it says ships and sold by Amazon, it's going to be really, really hard to compete with them. If you're a reseller, I would say skip over this item. If Amazon is selling it, you probably don't want to be selling it. If they don't, what it then comes down to are a few different main items that Amazon is looking for to decide which seller gets that buy box. So once Amazon runs out of inventory, they have 4, 5 other sellers here that could potentially take over that buy box once their inventory is gone. So what are the main factors that Amazon is looking for when they're deciding who controls that buy box? So basically, who gets what seller ships and sold from, sold by, what seller gets to populate here. So number 1 is always going to be price. Typically, whoever has the lowest price item is going to have the buy box. This is really important. That's why a lot of times you will see price variances of a penny or 2 pennies. That is why, because these are sellers trying to get the buy box, right? So it's price. Typically, the lowest price is going to gain the buy box. The other 2 items that are just crucial is that you have to be using FBA or fulfillment by Amazon. So that's where you see this Prime, 1 day, free returns. If we go down here, we see many of these other sellers do offer Prime delivery. Here's Prime. Here's another Prime, right? But they don't have the buy box, and that's because they're not the lowest price. So these guys right here are not the lowest price. And these guys right here are competing directly with Amazon. So again, Amazon's always going to give themselves the buy box, but once they go out of stock, it's going to move over to this next seller. So that brings me to the next thing is that you have to have inventory available, right? You have to be using fulfillment by Amazon, and then you must also have inventory available in order to get that buy box. Obviously, right? So the longer you maintain your consistent inventory, the more likely you are to get that buy box. So there are also a few other different items that, when people are having the same price, they're all using FBA, right? They have inventory in stock. So after those 3 boxes are checked, then what is Amazon looking at in order to decide who gets the buy box? So if we go over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this seller name because I want to show you a couple of the different things that Amazon is also looking for. So one thing that they're looking for is feedback count. So here's the seller feedback right here. And as you can see, this particular seller has received 7 feedbacks, right, from from customers, and 100% of them have been positive. Now, if we have a seller that is not 100% positive, they are much less likely to get that buy box. If we go back here and look at these other sellers here, now this one is not prime, and they do have more feedback, but because they're not prime, they're probably not going to get that buy box anytime soon. Here's another seller here where, as you can see, their positive feedback rate is only 93% from the last 30 days. And that means that that other seller that I just showed you that had 100% is more likely, again, not guaranteed, but more likely to get that buy box. And if you look here, the count on this particular seller is much higher. So Amazon is looking for your feedback count. They are also looking for your feedback rating here. One other thing that we have been speculating and some people write about is that they're also looking at your customer response time. So when you see on your dashboard that people are writing into you, those buyer seller messages, make sure that you always respond to them in under 24 hours. Amazon is very much tracking that. And if you don't, you will get little dings whether you see them or not. So over here, I did a search for some Lego Star Wars items. My son is just completely obsessed with Legos, and there are so many different options available, right? So even if we go over here, let's say to this particular item, again, we see that it ships and sold by Amazon, so they're always going to have the buy box. But then look at this, you have 106 other sellers. So this is a very competitive product listing for anyone to tack onto, but those are the main requirements that you really want to be aware of and look at when you're looking to gain control of that buy box, whether it's your branded product that you're coming in and taking over, or you're a reseller and you're trying to move some inventory. So quick recap. We went over what is the buy box. It's whatever seller gets the sale when somebody clicks over on the add to cart button on any Amazon product listing. And now the other items that you want to make sure you have in order to gain the buy box, you need to have the lowest price. You need to be using Fulfillment by Amazon Services, FBA, so that you're getting the Prime badge on your listing. And you also need to make sure that you maintain that inventory and stock level. Those are the 3 main items on top of course, Amazon is not selling it direct, meaning it's not ships and sold by Amazon. They will almost always take that buy box away from you if they are selling it direct. Some of the other factors that you can then look for and make sure that you're maintaining in your seller account is your feedback count, your feedback rating, your seller rating, and your customer response time. So I hope this has been helpful and you've learned what is the buy box and how can you control it for your product listing. My name is Kathleen Coble from Masters of Marketplace, where we help small businesses succeed on Amazon. If this has been helpful, please go ahead and click that subscribe button below here so that you can be alerted the next time I put out another helpful video for small businesses selling on Amazon.